Hi guys, this is Omega1, and today, as you can see, I'm back with another deck profile, and I present to you Fire Kings. Now, Fire Kings, I've been playing this deck for, 4 months now? Yeah, I think it's 4 months, and I've got to say, guys, this is a really good deck. You have to play this. Fire Kings has always been kind of a deck that has been hovering on the side of being meta or non-meta, but I really think it can kick some meta butt. Now, I've been playing this deck, technically, I've played it from the moment it came out. I bought 3 of the structure decks, and I built kind of like a graveyard-focused Call of the Haunted Fire King Kirin deck, which sucked quite badly because I had really bad consistency. But then Yaksha came out 4 months ago. I decided, why not get the Yakshas? And I was just blown away. How strong this deck actually is with Yakshas. I think it's a really great deck. Now, there are some cards that I don't own IRL right now. I've been playing this deck mainly on Death Bro, so there are some cards that are going to be missing, but that's alright. I'll just explain what cards they're supposed to be. Starting off with our main boss monster, Triple Garunix. Most people say that 3 Garunixes is a really dead draw, and you shouldn't play it at 3, you'd better play it at 2, you only need 2. Well, I think playing 3 is alright, and this card, I like to tell you guys, this is not a dead card. Or, I don't know, maybe I'm just a lucky guy, but in these 4 months of playing, I've only thought about 5 times that Garunix was dead in my hand. It used to be a very dead card. It used to be until we got Yaksha, and because Yaksha is so easily searchable by Barong, by Tenki, by all of these stuff, I think Garunix is not a dead card. It works good. And I know about that you won't necessarily summon it 3 times during the game, but it does happen. If your first onslaught gets boundless, if your second one just gets stopped, you still have the third one. I do occasionally run out of Garunixes in my deck, so I think it's alright to run it at 3. So next we have our typical 3 cards. Well, the 2 playsets. We've got Triple Yaksha, Triple Barong. I think this is pretty basic. I was surprised at how good Yaksha was. At first I only thought its effect triggered when it was destroyed by a card effect, but it also triggers when it's destroyed by a battle, which is just so good. You can just start the game by setting or summoning a Yaksha and just suiciding into stuff. Using a Tenki and then suiciding into a Roach is a really great card, and the fact that they special summon themselves is also nice because very often I go into Onslaught and then during end phase drop a Barong on the destruction. So that's really nice. Next up, I'm running a Fire Fist engine, which is a little more extensive than most Fire Fist engines in this deck, I think. Double Bear, Double Leopard. Now, Double Leopard might seem weird, but I ran 3 for a very long time, but I had to take one out for some of the cards that I don't own yet. But I think Double Leopard is fine. It's a really great card to get something in your grave instantly. So you basically use this to make a path for Garunix. You go into Leopard, tribute it, get a Tensu to have an extra normal summon afterward. But first, you go into Onslaught, and if your opponent does something, you can just circle. So it's basically something in your graveyard to protect your Garunix with a circle. For the rest, it's basically a free Tensu getting out of your deck. Bear combos really well with Circle too, because you can go into Wolfbark, summon a Barong, use Circle on the Barong, and then summon a Bear, so you can use the effective Bear, you can use the effective Barong. Next up we have Wolfbark, really great card. Now, as you can see, this is the one I don't own yet. Now, I've been out of trading for quite a long time now from Yu-Gi-Oh, and I should really get back into it, but this is the one I got from my tin opening. So about Wolfbark, I think 2 is a perfect number. I think if there's a card you're not sure how many, if you should play 3 or less, go for 2, because 2 is most of the times a really consistent number, and that's the same in this case. I wouldn't play 3 Wolfbarks in this deck. I would maybe play 3 Wolfbarks in a Fire Fist deck, but this isn't Fire Fist, this is Fire King. And Xyz cards are not going to be as good in this deck as they are going to be in most other decks, because Garunix is very present in the game, so it it just destroys most of your monsters before anything can happen. But I like 2 so that you basically, if the first wolf bark fails or the exceeds fails, you still have a backup wolf bark, and it's great because you can just search them with Tenki. If you don't know what to search a wolf bark, so you've got a backup. So that's it for the monsters. The monster count is 15, I think. I think that's a great monster count. You do play a lot of spells in this deck. So we're going to play triple onslaught and triple circle, starting off with the spells. Onslaught is your go-to way to get a Garunic's, well, second turn in theory. You can't get it first turn. It's really great. It's so easy. It doesn't really matter if your Garunic's fails at that point because it's only a 1 card. I like to go onslaught, and if it fails, just summon a Yaksha and use something like a circle or something and just get my Garunic's anyways. It's really great. Circle, I love this card. It's such a dynamic card. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff with this. I told you about the combo before with Wolfbark. That's a really good, cool thing. Most times you're just going to use this attack twice during the same battle phase, and basically OTK your opponent much easier. And you can also use this to set up your Eternal Destruction Garunic's combo. For those who don't know what that is, it's basically one Garunic's getting destroyed by the other, and this one destroying this one again, and it just keeps going every single standby phase, destroying every single monster on the field every standby phase, which is really cool. And yeah, Fire King's also just great to get your effects off your Barongs and stuff. It's a really, really great card. Next up, I've got my Fire Formations. I've got triple Tenki and 1 Tensu. I think Tensu is pretty good in this deck. Tenki is pretty obvious searching power. I used to play Gyokkou. I took it out. Even though this deck does hate back row, I play too many continuous spells and too many traps to just have Gyokkou sit around during the entire game. The only thing I liked about Gyokkou is that you can actually activate the same turn you activated the Tenki, so that you can technically use 3 Fire Formations during the same game, same turn, I'm sorry. But still, I wasn't too big of a fan of it, although I do like the art. I think the art in Gyokkou is the best art from all the Fire Formations. But for the rest, this is pretty obvious. Tensu can get you some crazy combos up, especially with stuff like Wolfbark. Rekindling, do you have to ask? And here, another card that I do not own, but I really have to get this card. It's such a card. Supply Squad. People, Supply Squad is such an amazing card. And it's just like it's just like Dark Hole. It's really OP in most decks, but in this deck, it's even more OP. So to those who don't know what it does, it's a continuous spell that says that every time one of your monsters is destroyed, you can get a draw. You can draw a card. And the good thing about it is that it doesn't have to be destroyed and sent to the graveyard. It just has to be destroyed, as far as I know. So if your opponent uses Bottomless, you can still draw a card. And if you activate this turn 1, God, the amount of pluses you get off of this, or sometimes if you draw 2 of them, it can get really funny. But this card, you basically draw, especially if you have the Garunic's Eternal Destruction combo up, you basically draw 2 cards every turn, and you get an extra card every once in a while. So it's a really great card. It screams for this deck because the entire point of this deck is destruction of your own monsters, and this just gives you extra cards. And we're rounding off the spells department with double Dark Hole and triple MSD. MSD is pretty obvious, you hate back row. And double Dark Hole, I'm not playing Raigeki because I think it's better to play Dark Hole at 2. Before, when I had Dark Hole in my hand, I would occasionally wait until my opponent had a lot of stuff and when I didn't have anything else to do. But now, knowing that I have a second Dark Hole, I go into Barong sometimes and just Dark Hole my own Barong, and occasionally pop 1 or 2 monsters my opponent controls. But I'm much less afraid to just drop a Dark Hole out there and getting effects. And it's much better than Raigeki in this deck because you get your own effects. And honestly, why would you need Raigeki? You've got Garunic's, which is, I mean, it's not the same, but it's just, it replaces it. So I prefer double Dark Hole. I mean, you could technically play Regeki if you had the place, but I feel like you've got enough destruction going off here in this deck. So, traps, we've got Torrential Tribute, Balanced Trap Hole, Phoenix Chain, and double Dimensional Prison. Torrential Tribute, an OP card in most decks, even more OP in this deck. Again, it's a really great card. Balanced Trap Hole and Dimensional Prison are basically alternate ways of getting your opponent's monsters off of the field, by banishing them, of course, and Phoenix Chain to negate these annoying effects that you cannot negate with Garunix. I think this deck, one of the reasons why it's so good is because it has a very compact core. You basically have triple Grunix, triple Yaksha, triple Barong, and then the 2 spells, and that's it. That is the archetype. And all the other cards in the deck, you can just fill up the deck with staples, with stuff like Rekindling and Fire Fist engines. You have enough space to just clog it with supply squads. That's what makes it so good. The same, I spoke about this in this Satellarknight deck profile too, that it has a very compact engine and you can just drop a whole load of useful splashable cards in there to surround it. So that's the main deck. Extra deck is not completely finished. Again, I should have more rank 4 Xyzs, because obviously you're going to mainly play rank 4 Xyz cards. Starting off, double Fire Fist Target King. This is quite obvious. Negation effect negation, searching out a Tenki or a Tensu. This is all quite obvious. Now, what I like about this card is that it has quite a high surprise factor. And this might sound weird, but this guy has a lost effect, which says that if it is sent from the field to the graveyard, and you have 3 fire formations, you can send all of them to the graveyard to special summon 2 level 4 Beast Warriors. No, not level 4. I'm not sure. Well, 2 Beast Warriors from your deck with the same level. Yeah, level 4. With the same attack. Sorry, I'm not saying this very well. So basically, you can get 2 Barongs, or Yakshan and Barong, or 2 Yakshas, or stuff like that. And it works so well with Garunix, because you just go into Target King, negate the effects of your opponent just because you can. Next turn, Garunix enters the field, this guy dies, you get 2 monsters. Next turn, providing that they survived, you can go into another Target King, and just get another search, and negate more effects, and kill your opponent. This is the main reason I play 2 of him also, because you can go into 2 of them right after each other. But in general, really, really great card. I rambled on about Target King a bit too long, but that's alright. Down Direwolf, just like Torrential Tribute, it's an awesome card in general, but in this deck, being able to pop your own Barong, getting an effect as well as destroying a card in your opponent's field, so great. And it displays an aspect in Yu-Gi-Oh! Very well that I like, and that is that most Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards are designed to have a good effect and then have a cost. But the fun thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is to actually find a way to reverse that cost into being a benefit. So basically, having to destroy one of your own cards is originally supposed to be a cost of destroying your opponent's card. But with this deck, you can just turn it around and basically have the popping of your own monster be the entire point of the card. That's what I really like about this. It's something very common in Yu-Gi-Oh! Another example is Mind Crush in Dark Worlds. Having to discard a card when you guess the name wrong is supposed to be a cost, but in Dark Worlds, it's not a cost at all. It's basically what you're activating the card for in a lot of cases. So moving on, we're going to play a whole lineup of staple rank 4 Xyz monsters. Maestroke, Roach, Gagaga Cowboy, Utopia, Castle, 101, Exciton Knight. All of these are very basic, all of these are very staple. I think my favorite ones are Maestroke and 101, because Maestroke, you go into this quite often if you don't really know what to go into. You just go into Maestroke, and it can survive some of Garunix's blasts sometimes. Same for 101, you absorb a monster and survive 1 turn to do extra damage, so that's really cool. For the rest, they're basically one-time use cards. Roach is not that good in here, but again, I have it. And last but not least, I'm also running 1 Zen Mains. Zen Mains, because you can actually go into Zenmaines when you activate Rekindling and you have 2 Leopards in the graveyard. It does happen. And Zenmaines works really well in this deck because if it gets destroyed by Grunix, you can just pop an extra card, potentially one of your own cards actually. If you want to have Grunix go another round, you can just do that. But also it combos really well with Circle. Basically you circle into this, detach, and get an extra monster. So you get a free monster and you get to pop a card during the end phase because it's a fire type, fire attribute monster. So that is basically the deck. I hope you guys liked it. You really should make this deck. I know I say this every single time, but you really have to make this deck. It's such an awesome deck. I really like it, how it works, it's just really cool. Another thing, if you're playing this deck, I like to go second. It's really great because you can then use Onslaught much easier, and you can get Search It with Bear much easier. So that's what I also like. You also get an extra card, so that's really good. It does kind of suck that you're more vulnerable to back row, but still, it's really great. So that's it for this deck profile. I've been eager to make this deck into a video for a very long time, but I waited until it was kind of strong. I might do some updates from this, maybe not, maybe I am. You'll see that later. For now, Omega 1, signing out.